What's up, fiends? Alucard here. Today we're going to do something a little bit different for Tubi Tuesday. November is Video Nasty November. So I'm going to show you all the movies that are available on Tubi that were Video Nasties. Alright, so if you don't know what a Video Nasty is, in 1983, during the birth of the VHS rental, the UK's Director of Public Prosecution released a list of 72 VHS tapes considered to be in violation of the Obscene Publications Act of 1959. Now, there were three categories. Category 1 was the movies that were actually prosecuted. There's another list that was not prosecuted. And then there was a third supplemental list. I'm only going to cover everything that was on the 39 films that were actually prosecuted. So yeah, these movies are kind of out there, put it that way. But these are all available now on Tubi. Of course, Tubi is not available in the UK. Go figure. But anyway, there are 18 of the 39 are available on Tubi to watch right now. Now, I know a lot of people collect these, and, it's a whole big thing. Everybody wanted the Video Nasties. And a lot of them are pretty cool. They're all horror, and most of them anyway. So anyway, let's get to the list. Let's see what Tubi has, shall we? And I am going to do it alphabetically because that's how everything is always listed. So first up, we have from 1981, the movie Absurd, a.k.a. Monster Hunter, a.k.a. Horrible. It is directed by Joe D'Amato and stars George Eastman. Now, this is a sadistic little movie that includes a bunch of craziness, like nurses and babysitters and biochemical clergy, and is known for the bloody. There's a big bloody scene in it. It's kind of known for that. I have seen it. It's okay. It is an interesting watch, though. I will give it that. All right, so moving on. Number 2, we also have Blood Feast from 1963, directed by Herschel Gordon Lewis. This one is about. It doesn't star anybody of note, so I won't. When that happens, I just won't say it. But this one is about a homicidal caterer resurrecting an Egyptian goddess, using body parts and young women as sacrifice, all kind of craziness. It's one of the first, if not the first, like what they call splatter film. The blood's real fake looking and stuff nowadays, but I guess back then people freaked out about it. It is an interesting little movie. I will definitely say that, and definitely a little different because it definitely has that 60s vibe to it for sure. All right, next up is one I have not seen, so I will probably be covering this month. It's called Bloody Moon from 1981, directed by Jess Franco, starring Olivia Pascal. It says young women are hunted and killed at a language school in Spain, while a psychotic killer gains power and momentum. I have heard a bit about this movie. It does seem like a good sort of pseudo slasher. So I'm going to give this one a shot real soon. Next up is actually one of my favorite slashers of all time, The Burning from 1981, directed by Tony Maylam. Stars Leah Aries, a young Jason Alexander, and also a young Fisher Stevens in a small part. This one's basically about a cruel joke that leaves a man severely burned. And he basically comes back for revenge, and he uses all kinds of weapons like hedge clippers and all kind of stuff. And his name is Cropsy, by the way. Excellent slasher flick. If you like slasher flicks, highly recommend this one. All right, next up we have Cannibal Apocalypse from 1980, aka Invasion of the Flesh Hunters. Yeah, so the initial title that I say, that's the titles that are on Tubi. So I'm also going to list the other ones when available. This one is directed by Antonio Margheriti and stars John Saxon. This one is basically about an unstable Vietnam vet who was held captive in the Viet Cong, and he comes back to America with, of course, a flesh-eating virus. Yeah, this was actually pretty good. It's not like Cannibal Holocaust or anything like that. It's a little bit different. I mean, it's similar, but it's better made. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not into the Cannibal Jungle movies all that much because I don't like all the animal stuff. But you know. But anyway, this one's all right. This one's actually a pretty fun little watch. Next up, we do have one of those Italian cannibal movies, Cannibal Ferox from 1981, aka Make Them Die Slowly, directed by Umberto Lenzi. In this one, three anthropologists set out to disprove cannibalism, and of course, what do they run into? A cannibal tribe. So there you go. This one is very similar to Cannibal Holocaust, if you've seen that, which is surprisingly not on the 39 that were prosecuted. Interesting, huh? All right, so next up we have Don't Go in the Woods from 1981, directed by James Bryan. This one is absolutely hilarious. I love this one. This is another great slasher flick with the most insane looking killer ever. It of course it follows a group of oblivious campers who encounter this crazy looking dude, um, and yeah, so you know it's a camp slasher in the woods type of thing, but it's definitely hilarious and highly entertaining. All right, next up we have The Driller Killer, directed and starring Abel Ferrara. When a struggling New York artist is pushed to his edge, he takes to the streets with a power drill and attacks and murder unsuspecting victims. Yeah, this one's always been pretty notorious. It's pretty bloody. It's you've probably seen it. It's on like every public domain thing ever made, pretty much. But definitely worth a watch and a good little bloody time, you know. All right, next up we have The Grim Reaper from 1979, aka Anthropophagus. This one's also directed by Joe D'Amato and also stars George Eastman from Absurd. This one also stars Tisa Farrow. This one is about a vacationers on a deserted Greek island, and they get hunted by a crazy guy that's has a taste for human flesh, put it that way. And of course, he's played by George Eastman. Yeah, this one was always real notorious for the cannibalistic scene, I guess you could say. I think it's kind of tame nowadays, but you know, I I guess 40 something years ago, this was like, whoa, this is a little too much, but you know, whatever. All right, next up we have House on Straw Hill from 1976, aka Expose, aka Trauma, directed by James Kenham Clark and stars Udo Kier and Linda Hayden. I'm a huge Linda Hayden fan, so that's why I've seen this one. Um, this one's sort of a this one's less of a horror. I guess it's technically considered a horror, but to me, it's more of a sexy secretary thing. But there's some craziness to it. Don't you know? There's more to it than that. This one's about a novelist hoping to break his writer's block by working in a remote cottage. But his new secretary arrives and stuff starts happening. Put it that way. If you're a Linda Hayden fan, this movie is a must. All right, next up I have I Spit on Your Grave from 1978, aka Day of the Woman, directed by Mears Archie and stars Camille Keaton. This one is about a writer in a backwoods cabin who is sexually assaulted by local savages and later returns for revenge. This is the ultimate uh, revenge movie. Put it that way. Uh, yeah, it is. It is trying to, it's hard to get through. I'm not gonna lie. But once you get over the initial stuff, it gets really interesting. Next up, we have The Last House on the Left from 1972, directed by Wes Craven. Stars Sandra Cassell, David Hess, and Martin Kove. Yep, from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. That's right. Kreese is up in this. All right, this one is about two girls that get tortured and left to die, and they have been attacked by four prison escapees. This one is also pretty notorious. For the time, I could definitely see it freaking people out. But again, over time, nowadays, it's not, to me, this one's not nearly as bad as some of the other ones, but, it's definitely worth a watch. Highly recommended. A really good piece of early 70s exploitation. All right, next up we have Madhouse from 1981, aka There Was a Little Girl, directed by Ovidio Assanitis. Now, I have not seen this one either, so this one is high on my list. I will probably be reviewing this one as well. This is an Italian cult slasher. It's about a diseased sister tortured by her evil twin and the shocking revenge she takes on their birthday. So it's a good birthday movie. So that's one you don't hear about too often. And next up we have Mardi Gras Massacre from 1978, directed by Jack Weiss. This one is about a couple of hard-boiled homicide cops searching for a murderer during Mardi Gras in New Orleans. All right, so of all the movies on the 39 that were prosecuted, this one is probably the easiest one to take because this movie is more of a cop movie. It's not really too much of a slasher. I mean, it is, but it's not. The cops stuff kind of takes over. That makes sense. So yeah, I think this one was put on the list because of the massacre in the title. I don't know. All right, next up we have Nightmare from 1981, aka Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. That's my favorite title. I love it. It is directed by Romano Scavellini, a recovered schizophrenic traveling to Florida to murder his ex-wife and kids. Yeah, it's a good time. This one is pretty much your typical slasher, but I do love that Nightmares and Damaged Brain title. I wish that was on every title. That would be sick. All right, next up we have Snuff from 1975, directed by Michael Finley and Simon Newturn. While filming in South America, an actress and her producer are terrorized by a biker chick death cult and its Manson-like leader named Satan. All right, so supposedly the ending of this movie is what caused the controversy because it cuts to what they say is a real snuff film, and it's not. It's like not even close. I do remember when this came out on DVD and Blu-ray, I bought it because I was like, oh, this will never go back on sale again, blah blah blah, kind of thing. And I'm like, I got to see how this craziness. And it's really not all that crazy. It's interesting though that the performances are weird because they're all drugged out and yeah. But anyway, it's a good time if you like weird movies. All right, next up is one that I have not seen called Toxic Zombies from 1980, aka Forest of Fear, aka Blood Eaters. This one is directed by Charles McCran and stars John Amplas of Martin fame. If you have not seen Martin, I highly recommend that George A. Romero vampire movie. So Toxic Zombies is about a the crops getting sprayed with a chemical, and the chemical poisons the area and turns people into zombie-like mutants. So this one does seem like a really good time too. I'm looking forward to this one, and I do like John Amplis. So there you go. All right, and the last one, number 18. This is another one I have not seen, so I will be reviewing this one. It's called The Werewolf and the Yeti from 1978, aka Night of the Howling Beast, directed by Miguel Iglesias and stars Paul Naschy. Yeah, Paul Naschy is sort of the like Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff of Spanish horror. So this one's about an adventurer joining an expedition to find the Yeti in the Himalayas, where he's captured by demonic nymphets who transform him into a werewolf. Now that sounds like a blast. I don't know about you, but yeah. So these are the movies from the Video Nasty list that were prosecuted that are currently available to watch on Tubi. So which one sounds good to you? Which one are you going to watch? Because I know I'm going to watch a few of them. I got about 4 of them I got to watch because I haven't seen them. So, and I definitely want to see all of the Video Nasties. Look out for future videos about the Video Nasty. Like I said, November, I'm going to be doing Video Nasty November. I'm even going to have a live discussion with some folks coming up. So look out for that. All right, guys. Other than that, guys, I will see you later. Remember to stay spooky. Peace.